right. Power 94 WJTT. It's your girl, Zainab Kay here. What's going on, Chattanooga? Today, I'm joined by filmmaker Geeta Gandbhir and producers Alisa Payne and Nikan Kwantu. Now, they are the team behind The Perfect Neighbor, the documentary film, one of the most talked about this year. And it tells the heartbreaking story showing how years of harassment in a Florida neighborhood escalated into the fatal shooting of a mother of four went by the name Ajika Owens. How are you guys doing today?
Good, thank you.
Thank you for
All
having me.
right. I'm so glad to have you here. You all bring such sharp clarity and real understanding of people to this project. Now, when you first encountered this story, what made you feel it needed to be a documentary film rather than another news report?
Sure. So this film came about because Ajika Owens was a family friend. There's a connection through. So Nikan and I, and this is Geeta speaking, and Nikan and I are a married couple. So one of Nikan's cousins was Ajika's best friend. So that is how we became involved with this story. Nikan, you want to talk about going down to
Sure,
Florida?
sure. So we went to Florida. I went to Florida with my cousin. So my cousin, who was very close with Ajika, her name is Kimberly Robinson. She spoke to her sister right after this happened, whose name is Takima Robinson, who works in philanthropy and social justice, and she works with on the ground activists. She wanted to make sure that this didn't just go unnoticed. And so she activated attorney Ben Crump and got it out to Joy Reid to get national coverage when this happened because Susan Lawrence wasn't immediately arrested, nor was she charged with something that that the family felt was appropriate to the crime. She was being charged with manslaughter when she was eventually arrested, but um, not murder one. So uh, one of the family attorneys, Anthony Thomas, through the Freedom of Information Act, got a hold of, he did a FOIA request um, to the sheriff's department and got a hold of all of the footage surrounding the case. And when we got that footage, he gave us the footage so that we can, you know, show that Susan Lawrence was in fact kind of, trying to, she was planning this, right?
Yes.
This was premeditated. And when we got a hold and looked at the footage, it was bigger than we thought. It wasn't just that night. It wasn't, it was something that spanned back 2 years. And that actually started the idea of making this into a documentary.
Now, the project unravels almost entirely through the police body cam footage. So tell me about the decision-making process of choosing to showcase this story this way. And I'll have Alisa Payne answer this question.
Oh, you're muted, Alisa.
I think Geeta would be best to do it, but
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I'll take it and I can pass it too.
Okay.
But just because, so really, when we realized there was 2 years worth of material here that went back, like I said, originally we weren't thinking about making a doc. We were just trying to support the family and getting this out to the media. But when we realized there was 2 years of worth of footage, we went to Pamela Dias because that's when it really occurred to us there could be something more. And we asked her if this was something she would want us to do. And she said yes, because she wanted her daughter's story told. And she takes a lot of inspiration from Emmett Till's mother, Mamie Till, who insisted on an open casket funeral after her son was brutally lynched and had the press come in and take pictures so the world could know and would know what happened to her baby. And she also, I mean, she changed the trajectory of American history. So that's who we think of, right, when in the making of this film. And so but the decision to live in the body camera footage was for a couple of reasons. One, we didn't want to go back and re-traumatize the community by interviewing them again. They'd already been through so much. They've been interviewed by the police. So we had their responses. We had their story from the detective interviews. Two, we felt that the body cam footage was undeniable, right? For an audience and for people to see what had happened. We weren't on the ground, directing anything. There was no reporter, there was no camera except for the police body camera. And so you see people as behaving without, again, they're responding to the police, but they're not responding to a film team or a camera crew or a journalist. And so they are their authentic selves. And you get to see this beautiful little community. The police didn't mean to catch this, but they did. This beautiful little community as they were before the crime. And you never see that. You never get to see the community as they were. And you often only get to see the aftermath, right? And that community is so important. You see this, again, this multiracial community that Ajika was central to, living together, loving each other, raising kids together, and how one outlier with a gun could destroy all that. And then two, we also wanted to subvert the traditional use of body camera footage, which is most often used as a violent tool of the state to police black and brown people, to dehumanize us, to criminalize us, to all of that. And we wanted to take it and subvert that by using it to actually humanize this community. And as I think you see the kids, you can't adultify them. You see the community, you cannot deny that their connection. So that was, and who they were and their behavior compared to Susan's. And again, we were committed to doing a proper 360 also of this. Like, as you see, Susan is featured, her complaints are featured. We wanted to give a fair portrait to everyone. The police are featured, but that was the reason for the choice to live in the body cam footage.
Yeah, so the stand your ground law, which is prominent throughout the film, one which Susan was looking up. Now, for a while, this has been used as a legal shield, but here, after watching this documentary, feels almost like a turning point in the justice system where it no longer is a means to be used to cover up crimes motivated usually by race. So do you think people now understand more or are looking to understand more what the stand your ground law means in their states because of this?
So yeah, I think that stand your ground laws, this film has definitely highlighted that. The last time stand your ground was really in the collective consciousness, right, in American society, was around Trayvon Martin. And so we know that in that case, Trayvon's murderer, George Zimmerman, used stand your ground and was acquitted. In this case, Susan had researched it, she had premeditated this defense, but it was not used in the case. And so I don't know that we think that people have been changing and it's not the same. It still is violent, it still is harmful to Black and brown people, it still emboldens people. In this case, a jury of her peers, all white jury, convicted her of manslaughter. One of the things that we think happened that was done differently, because they also had, Trayvon Martin's family also had, the Fulton family also had Ben Crump as their attorneys, is that they learned the lessons from that, right? In terms of using, if Susan were to use it. And so they used a lesser charge, which was manslaughter. And so we think that, yes, they were effective, but we do not think that stand your ground is any less harmful. We know it's not any less harmful. It's now actually in 38 states under different names. And so it's really important that people understand it is alive and well and really hurting people. And that's why we want to use this film as a tool to effectuate change.
Okay, thank you for that. Now, lastly, and this is for any one of you, if you could release a follow-up segment a year from now, what would you want it to capture about the community's path forward?
Wow.
If you could.
I just want to say, unfortunately, this has been really hard for the community, and I want these guys to talk about their experience. We shared the film with them, but there aren't the only one family remains on that block, like in that on that street that was originally there, because this has shattered the community, and I think it's important. I would probably want to release something. Again, there is so much resilience with Pamela and the family, and people carry on. But I also think the lasting impact of that one night is so profound that a follow-up would maybe be showing how that entire, because they were like a family, how that the ripple effects of what happened is so profound. That's what I think I would want to do. And maybe, again, bring more attention to why we need significant change.
Well, I thank you all so much for making this documentary film and putting it out. And it means so much to, I think, all communities all across, no matter what racial background you come from. And we will continue to watch this and make sure that we are working together in peace, because things like this should not repeat itself. So I
Yeah.
thank you so much, Geeta. Thank you so much, Alisa. And thank you so much, Nikan. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day.
Before we leave, I just want to add one thing.
Mhm.
We talk about standing in your gap. That Takima, like I said, and Pam started Standing in the Gap Fund, and we want people to look at standinginthegapfund.org and see what they can do to help to figure out a path better for our communities, a path forward for our communities.
Okay, and that website again is
Standinginthegapfund.org.
standinginthegapfund.org. Okay, I'll have that and I'll include that in my article. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Thanks so
All right,
much.
bye.